Hello everyone, welcome to Wildwood Studio. I'm Sarah, and in this video I'm going to be doing a wood burning of a monarch butterfly. This burning, as well as prints of it, will be available on my website at wildwoodstudio.ca as soon as this video is live. For this burning, I'm working on an 8x10 inch basswood panel and using my razor tip wood burning system. I started by sanding the panel and transferring the image of the butterfly, but I felt like it needed something extra, so I decided to add a border. I designed this Celtic knot border using the book Celtic Art, The Methods of Construction. I actually found this book while I was in Ireland. I saw a woman painting Celtic knots on rocks, and she was using designs out of this book. I like it because it doesn't just give examples of finished knot patterns, it actually walks you through how to construct them and shows different knots that are variations on the same design. The book didn't include instructions for how to turn this particular knot into a square, so I had to figure out the corners myself, but it was still very useful. I use this book a lot, so I'll link to it below in case any of you are interested. Drawing the knot myself added about 4.5 hours to this project, but I find it really satisfying, and honestly wood burning is already pretty tedious to most people, so if you enjoy that, you might like drawing knots too. To save myself some time, I traced the first half of the knot and flipped it over to get the second half. Once I was happy with the knot pattern in my sketchbook, I transferred it to the wood using tracing paper. I erased the knot in some areas where the butterfly or the flower overlap it so that they integrate together rather than just having the knot sit on top of the whole picture. I started burning with the butterfly, outlining the body and the wings with my knife tip pen. For smaller details, I switched to my ball tip pen and then shaded in the dark areas. I used a medium heat and light pressure for the shading, and that's why you don't see much smoke. It takes a bit longer, but the result is smoother shading. If you turn the heat up to save time, you risk scorch marks and indents that you don't want. This is actually my second burning of a monarch butterfly. I have a video of the first one on my channel as well. The first one was purchased by the owner of the company that I used to work for, and when he bought it, he sent me some similar photos that he had taken, so I'm using one of those pictures as a reference for this piece. This burning is larger than the first one I did, and I think the Celtic knot also helps to differentiate it. Next, I shaded in the areas of the wings that will be orange. I'm planning to paint this area, but I think having the burned shading underneath is a nice effect. I will be using watercolors so it won't completely cover the burning. After burning each area, I used my sand eraser to remove the pencil lines. It's an eraser meant for pen, but it does a way better job removing pencil from wood than a regular white eraser. Next, I started with the center of the flower, which is made up of small upside-down teardrop shapes. The ones in the front look more spread out, and they overlap more and look more crowded as they curve towards the center. This kind of detailed section can be intimidating, but I just outlined each shape with my ball tip pen and then shaded the spaces in between them. Since these will be painted orange, I didn't really bother to shade them individually. I also thought leaving them lighter made for better contrast. For the petals, I burned slowly on a low temperature to keep the shading smooth. There is some texture, but it's more subtle. When I was partway through the petals, I decided to add some small flowers to the border. The flowers I'm adding are forget-me-nots and lily of the valley. I guess I'm not sure if adding them was the right choice. I think they add detail, but they may also make it look overcrowded. Lately, I've been experimenting with adding more elements to my designs because I've started to feel a bit like a photocopier instead of an artist. Up until now, my goal was always hyperrealism, and I admired artists who were more skilled at realism than I was. But lately, I feel like I've achieved a pretty realistic woodburning style, and the artists I'm most drawn to now are ones that create more imaginative and magical compositions. I still love realism, but I also want to add more creativity to my work. I don't know if people will like it as much, and since I'm less practiced with it, my compositions might not be as strong at first, but hopefully that will improve with practice. So the flowers were fun to add, but I wonder if they make the piece look too busy. What do you think? I'd love to hear your opinion in the comments. I I originally planned to keep the knot light like I normally do, so I burned the little flowers a bit darker. But partway through burning, I felt like everything was blending together and there wasn't enough darker values, so I decided to go bolder and darken the knot. I did this shading with my spoon shader and left highlights at the center of each knot section to create a braided effect and prevent it from looking too flat. This also makes it look a bit shiny, which I really like, and I think I might try this effect on a jewelry box sometime. This took forever, so if you want to burn this yourself, I have a pattern available on my website, and if you want to save time, you can definitely skip shading the knot like this and just do something simpler. This burning is only 8 by 10 inches, but it still took me 22.5 hours to burn and paint. Once the burning was done, it was time to paint it. I used my Derwent watercolor pencil crayons. I like these because they're easy to control and layer, and since they're watercolors, they don't cover up the burning as much. I kept the colors mostly realistic, except for the Lily of the Valley. I painted them purple instead of white because I wanted them to stand out a bit more. Overall, I'm happy with how the color turned out. What do you think? Did it look better before I added the color? If you like this piece, it's currently available for purchase at wildwoodstudio.ca. I also have prints of both the colored and non-colored versions, and I added framed prints, which I think look really nice. I ordered one myself to test the quality, and I was really happy with it. Also, I got this mug recently with my tiger burning on one side and the owl on the other, and I love it. It's 15 ounces, which I like because I mostly drink tea, and if you want one, it's also on my website right now. And with that, the last step was applying a clear coat, and that's it. Here's some pictures of the finished piece. As always, please let me know what you think in the comments. Also, please make sure to like this video if you haven't already, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss all my future art videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.